up to the boys. Fox and Shane, set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice. One thing cold, but the penny turn red. Can't let that shit get in my head, war gaming.
What's going on, guys? You have tuned into Hobby Homies. We are your weekly tabletop podcast. I am Shane, hanging out with Fox.
Howdy.
And, of course, hanging out with Churchy.
How you going, guys?
Microphone's on this time, Churchy.
Let's do a
Testing.
Checking all
One, two,
systems.
check. Just do a check. 1, 2, check 1, 2 for me, boys.
We've done something we haven't done in a long time, which is play a board game.
Yeah.
And as you may have guessed, we have played Dead of Winter this evening.
I thought you were going to be like, and we played Risk.
Yeah,
This is just here to
Monopoly.
to give you an idea of what a board game is.
Yeah. So, look, I've played Dead of Winter a few times. I mean, so have you guys, maybe a couple. But
Yeah.
I want to know, Fox, what was your first impressions of the game? Like, replaying it, I should really say.
Yeah, it was replaying it, but we had played it so long ago, it felt kind of like there was a few familiar things.
Yeah.
It did really feel like I was playing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I was so unfamiliar with so much of it and kind of the experience of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, I think replaying it, my first impression was... I don't want to give spoilers, so we'll talk a little bit about the thing in my head later. If you all can just remember the thing in my head, we'll talk about that later.
But hang on, later, later in the episode. Okay, because we actually filmed it, so
yes,
that will be coming out probably in a couple of days.
Yeah,
you'll hear this first, most likely, unless you're maybe not up to date.
Yeah.
And not chomping at the bit for new episodes, but then that's everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for Lethal, who messaged me today. He's like, "Oh, thanks for homie of the week," and I'm like,
Hey,
that was like months ago.
That was in 2001. Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a good point, though. If you're listening to this and, so a full playthrough is coming out in a couple days.
Raw and unadulterated.
Yeah. No, we didn't do any editing. It was just us playing a board game. I think the video is probably like 2 hours long or something.
Yep.
We did not have technical difficulties halfway
Not
through.
once.
Not once.
No
rules
twice.
checks.
No rules checks at all.
No cardboard
clean.
models getting drowned.
Dunked in water.
There was no drownings. I did not.
There was nothing
Rumors
about
and hearsay.
babies getting left in dumpsters. All of this will make sense in a few days.
I did not.
Yep.
I did not exile any babies.
Well, they'll find out. So
Their
if you
mothers?
maybe.
I didn't do that either.
If you want no spoilers before watching that, don't listen to this episode because we'll talk about everything.
Yeah, pause it right now, listen to that, watch that,
Go watch that,
and then come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is our full review, having already played it.
Yeah.
So my first impressions was I like just how clean the layout of the game is.
Yeah.
So you've got this board in front of you, which is the main compound, and then you place the locations around it.
Yep.
Like hospital and police station and whatnot.
Yep. School and the library.
School and
6 locations, I believe.
Your character cards contain all the information you need, and it's like 3 numbers and a little bit of text. It was all very clean.
It's like straight up. It's like nice and user friendly. When you know what those are, it's like sweet. Okay, I know where I'm looking. I'm not like sifting through stat lines and stuff like that to know what to do.
Yeah,
it's like it's there on the card. Searching is a 1+, fighting is a 5+, or something like that.
Yeah.
The
actual mechanics of the game are very, very, very simple, which means you can pick it up and just be like, okay, my character has a hit of 2. It kills a zombie on a 2.
Yeah.
I know if I take a dice, it's probably worth explaining just quickly. One of the mechanics is before you have your turn, you roll a pool of dice that you have. You start with 3, but you can add to that pool.
Yep.
Say I got a 2, 5, and a 5. Those are my 3 dice. If I've got an action like a search or a kill a zombie that's a 2, I can spend anything 2 or above to perform that action.
Yep.
And then that uses that dice. So the dice are both your actions, your action limit, and also what's required to do it.
Yep.
So that part of it's fun because you can just, that's how easy the game. That's the main mechanic of the game. And you, just listening to my ramblings for 12 seconds, learned how to do it.
Yeah, you're in. You're ready to go.
Yeah, but the actual the complexity of the game comes within your decisions and how you manage those dice, and it's putting out spot fires.
It is. It really is. The whole game is just managing these little different crises that pop up.
Yeah.
You've got your main objective, then you've got your crisis, and then you've got other things that keep coming up, like different events and stuff like that. So
you've got zombies gathering in certain areas that you need to make sure you quell. You've got maintaining food for your colony.
Yep, crossroads cards, which give you sometimes a very morally difficult decision where you have to either exile a mother,
for example. Just a random example.
Wait a minute. Is that a crossroads too?
No,
I can't remember what that was. Yeah, wasn't it? Yeah.
That means I got both the like.
Yeah,
You got the
did.
difficult ones.
Yeah. So everyone knows
Although I can't remember
how you are deep down inside now.
Everyone's had a look into Churchy's soul and they
Very
see.
kind and caring person.
Keep mothers
You can
and
trust me
newborns
in
away
a
from
young
you.
Yeah. So I like how clean the game. It's just such a well-refined, clean game.
Yeah.
That was my first impression, and it carried through. It just kept getting reaffirmed by just the cleanness of, hey, all right, spend one food, put a food token on there.
Yeah.
Yes, that part of it's super simple.
It is. It's so simple, and like, there's really no way I think to complicate it. Like, there's no other elements that we could have added. I know there are expansions to the game. I don't know what they bring. I think there is one particular one which brings in more of a PvP element.
Sure.
But like for a straight out of the box kind of game, which I think is about $100 Australian.
Yeah.
Like it's a lot of fun, and it's. I mean, I don't know what the age limit is. I can't quite remember, but I think for like if you've got kids like who's, I don't know, a teenager or whatever, like or 13 and up, it's going to be a great game like to play with the family as well.
If we could play it, then you could assume someone
children could play it.
Exactly. If they've got motor function, they could also play this game.
Yeah.
Because the three of us managed.
Yeah, I think what's really cool about it too is that like it's a lot of really simple elements that are super easy to learn that then come together to create something that's complex enough to be like engaging and interesting and fun.
Yeah. And it's good too because it gives you like you know what you're fighting for. You know what your end goal is from the get go.
Yep.
Like you make these plans, and then like one dice roll and everything changes. You know? It's like,
We'll talk generally for a few minutes, and then maybe halfway through we'll sort of talk about what actually happened in our game. Which will be the spoilers part, because it was an interesting game.
Yep.
But you do have the main objective that all three of us know and work together, like you said.
Yep.
And that's known from the start, and we collectively try and work on it. And these crises pop up, and we collectively try and work on it.
Yep.
However, you've also got your secret objective.
Your own secret, which one may be a betrayal. So you may be working to sabotage the group and not succeed the main objective.
Yeah.
And then you've got your own things to acquire as well, and then you win, and then your friends lose.
Yeah.
And then you have no more friends.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's great.
The cool thing about it is it's kind of, because there also may not be a betrayer, but just the idea that there could be.
It could be one,
brings the tension anyways.
The way that you build the objectives deck that you deal out, so you put one card in there, and then two. So in total, there's 3 players. There's 6 cards.
Sure.
One of those 6 cards was the betrayer card.
50-50.
Yeah, and then you deal those out. So there's a 50-50 chance that there's no betrayer.
Yeah.
But it's 50-50 that you are the betrayer.
And you've got to keep it in your mind because it's important. And like, when you deal with a crisis, there might be like, the crisis will say, you need 3 food this turn.
Yeah.
So we all go around and have our individual little turns within the greater turn. And we have an opportunity to each contribute to the crisis with a face down item.
Yeah.
So say it says we need 3 food. Shane, you might go, I'm putting down 2 food.
Yep.
And we're like, all right, cool. Churchy, one of us only needs to put down 1. The problem is if we go, all right, Churchy, you put down 1 and I'll keep mine for later.
Yeah, or you'll put yours to the supply or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. The risk that we have is that if Shane is the betrayer, he might have put down 1 food and 1 junk.
Yeah.
Face down.
Yep.
Then when we flip it up expecting to see 3 food,
Yeah.
we've actually failed the mission.
Flip it after you've shuffled it.
Yeah.
Just so it's not obvious.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Churchy will be like, oh, Fox, I did what I said we were going to do. And so Shane must have put down 1 food, 1 junk. And you'll be like, what? No, I put down 2
I
food.
put those 2 foods.
It's
yeah,
Churchy,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. So, yeah, like, there are great ways that you can sort of start trying to throw people off.
Yeah.
And I think, like, with 4 players, it would be very, very interesting. 3 players, it's kind of easy
Yeah,
to, like,
because-
just gang up on someone.
For sure.
You know, you could just be, like, yeah, like, I don't know. That's the way I imagine it anyway.
Yeah, that's
where
a-
4 players, the betrayer might be able to convince that other person
Yeah.
who will be like, yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it was them. It's
Yeah.
like 2, you know, like, yeah, it could get quite heated, I imagine.
Yeah, 4 and 5, I think would be awesome to try and play
Yeah.
that because
3 was solid, though.
it was solid. Yeah,
Hmm.
but you raise a valid criticism in that 3-player game is that in that scenario we painted before, where you put down 2 food, Churchy put down 1.
Yeah.
If there's 1 junk in there, one of you guys knows that the other tried to betray. You know absolutely it was Churchy,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah. But then I have to convince you
Correct.
that it's Church, or Churchy has to convince you that it's me. You
Yeah,
know?
so that's fun, but I just feel
Yeah.
like you've got less like if there's 4 or 5 players, there's more chance that a lot more people are contributing. So
Yeah.
it's not presented to you who is trying to betray
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But sometimes there's a lot of different secret objectives in there that could mean you're trying to sabotage maybe that
Mm-hmm.
or like a smaller part of the game without actually being the betrayer.
Yeah. Yep.
And I believe there's a mechanic where you can exile if you both vote the betrayer out.
Yes, you can. So when the person gets exiled, they reveal their objective.
Yeah.
Whether they were or weren't the betrayer.
Sure.
So you might exile me, and then I'm not the betrayer, and then you're like, oh shit, Churchy's in here with me.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I'm like already gone.
Yeah.
And I actually get new objectives.
Yeah.
But I can't return to the colony. I can go to all the different locations. I can PvP with you guys.
Oh, cool.
But I can't return to the colony. You know,
Yeah.
so there are pros and cons of being exiled.
Yeah.
You get your new objective and everything like that. So, which is something I don't know. I've never played with an exiled player before. It'd be interesting to see. I reckon.
I think after playing this game, because we played sort of the intro easy mission, I would say.
We did, yeah. The basic mission they recommend for the first playthrough.
Yeah. Which, it was our first one in a while, so it was good. And there were
Yeah.
times where it was like a little bit, how you going? But I
Yeah,
would love to
yeah.
play it on a hard mode.
Yeah.
And I'd love to see some PvP shenanigans,
Yeah.
some exiling. But
Yeah.
it's such a risk, you're right. Because, like, what if I'm wrong in that previous scenario and I exile you,
Yeah.
and Churchy's actually the person, and,
Yeah,
and you're right,
yeah.
I'm stuck in there with him, and now he can control everything.
Yeah.
I could know he's the betrayer
Yeah.
and do nothing about it. So, yeah, I loved I think the tension of that
Yeah.
is a large portion of the game, even though it was a little bit absent in ours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always in the back of your mind. You're always keeping an eye on actions, being like, what are they?
Yeah.
That wasn't very smart. Are they just bad
Yeah.
and dumb, or are they doing something for their own, trying to figure out what their secret objectives are?
Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe now we'll get into the spoilers.
Let's do it. This is the spoiler zone.
So if you don't want to, get the episode ruined, stop now and come back.
But otherwise, drive your Subaru WRX in here because we're going to throw out some spoilers.
Nice,
Yep,
dude. Nice.
thank you.
I was wondering where you're going with that, but
Everyone was, but they've already left because they don't want spoilers.
yeah. So I was the betrayer,
Yes.
and my first turn,
Yep.
I died. One of my characters was killed.
The very first action you did,
Yep.
you rolled a tooth on basically it was a 1 in 10 or 1
I think
in
it's
12.
a 12-sided dice, and I got bit
You got bit, died straight up.
straight up. So I was handicapped from the get-go. I'm going to say my best character,
Easily.
because she had a search of 1, so I
Yeah.
could literally search just consistently.
Yep.
And I got stuck with a guy with a search of 5.
Yeah.
And I rolled very poorly on the activations.
You did. So and you lost a dice for losing your character.
Yeah, so you get 1 dice plus 1 dice for every character that you control.
Yeah.
So you always have 1 additional dice than you do models on the table. So yeah, 2 dice, looking for like 5s
Yeah.
to even search
Yeah.
was hard.
And searching is so important because that gets you items.
Yep.
You go to these locations. You search through. You search, which is just getting the top card of the deck and putting it in your hand.
Yeah.
Those items that are your main economy. That's where you get your food that you place into the thing, or
Yep.
medicine, or
Yep.
fuel,
Weapons, things
everything
like that.
you need to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And because you immediately lost an action, turn 1,
Yeah.
and your guy had to search a 5,
Yeah.
you were on the back foot.
It was hard. So I couldn't contribute at all. I think I collected 1 sample out of the 9.
Yep.
And I couldn't add to any of the crises
Yeah.
contributions. So I did nothing. And I'm like, I'm meant to be the betrayer here.
Yeah.
I'm doing
We
nothing.
totally didn't rip on you at all.
No,
there
you
was
guys
no-
were so kind the whole time.
As soon as Shane's character died, we went in.
just
He was the
copped
useless
it.
guy. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
man.
We had our homies back the whole time. We picked up the slack.
Felt the
That's
love.
it.
Supported him all the way.
We
Never once
joked that
considered
you were the
exiling him.
betrayer because of how bad you were playing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was true,
It
but
was
for a
true.
different reason.
Yeah.
Like you were almost
It was
doing
brutal.
well because the betrayer is obviously trying to undo the campaign, but you still had criteria you needed to meet as the betrayer.
Yeah, I still had to have two characters. I had to have 2 medicine and 2 tool cards in my hand. Had nothing. By the end of the turn, I had no cards, and I just couldn't get them because I couldn't roll high enough to search.
And you only had 2 dice, so
And I only had 2 dice. Yeah.
yeah. So you were rolling, hoping for a 5 or a 6 on those 2 dice.
Yep.
If you didn't get it, you didn't get more items, so
No.
therefore you could do nothing, and you were just in this trap.
Yeah. Yep.
That's probably a critique of the game. There was no real. You know what? We could have given you more items. That was something we probably.
You guys could have.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't really need them, so I wasn't like asking for them.
Yeah.
But
But if we had junk, we could have flicked you some junk, so you could have re-rolled your stuff, so you could have actually
Yeah.
done stuff
yeah.
and contributed.
Yeah.
That's something we probably. Because I was just about to say that's a critique of the game. Once you were caught in that sand, you couldn't get out. But
yeah.
really, we should have tried to help.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
But also, I think on him as the betrayer. I mean, even if you weren't a betrayer, but part of that is on him to kind of convince us to do that.
Yeah, so true.
Hey dudes, can you just throw me your junk? I really need
Yeah,
that
I just
Need
reroll."
that
junk,
reroll.
yeah.
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 Yep.
I just need to get up and go and get off my
Which
feet.
is just more
Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
dynamics between players.
Yeah.
Which I think, again, if there was more players, it would be a bit...
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Needed that bus money.
Yeah, legit. Hey man, my uncle moved out 3 days ago and he's supposed to pay me everything, and then 12
Yeah.
minutes later you're just like, so ultimately I just need $4.35 to catch the bus. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, bro, no one has cash anymore. Stop asking me.
It just reminds me of South Park. Change. Anybody change?
Anybody
No,
change?
I've given you all my change. I just need some change for the bus. Change. It's relevant too, because zombies, basically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
Watch more South Park, dude.
Yeah, my
Then
bad.
you'll
Yeah,
be in
that's
the know.
on me. And all of you that don't know what he's talking about.
I know.
Shane knows.
I get it. I got you.
Oh, good. Good. 50% of our audience is aware then.
Why don't I watch this?
So, I want to know, you've played a few board games. Where does this one sit for you? How do you rate it? Let's give it out of 10 and then
Ooh.
throw it up against some.
Okay.
Is it in your top 5, top 10? Is it just a whatever?
Oh man, it's hard, right? Because it's been sitting on the shelf for so long. So, I think one of the reasons I maybe haven't.
It's literally got dust on it.
It does.
Yeah.
Of course it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't played it because, me and Caitlin, 2-player game. It's not real. I think it's more of a group sort of game.
Yeah,
2
it might not
players.
even be 2 players.
I think you can. You just don't use the betrayer mechanic.
Oh, sure. That makes sense.
Yeah. But with 3, it was a lot more fun. I don't know. I'm gonna give it maybe a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, okay. That's very solid.
Yeah. Yes, definitely solid.
Yeah.
Definitely solid. Good. It's not a party game, but it's a game that you can bring out to a group of avid board gamers.
Yeah.
You know, you wouldn't bring it out to people that don't play board games.
Yeah.
But if you've got a few friends around and they're all solid board gamers, this would go off on a board game night. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think you could this is just like only the tiniest bit above gateway game because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
quite simple.
Yeah, definitely. You could convince your friend that only plays Monopoly to play.
Yeah, you could.
Like-
This might be a good
Yeah.
where they're like, oh wait, I didn't realize board games were cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, everyone has that moment where they're just like, oh wait,
Oh,
it's
yeah. There's
not
more
just
than
Monopoly.
Scrabble and Battleship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
So this could be that, but you're right. It's like you wouldn't bring it to family Christmas and be like,
No.
all right, everyone,
Yeah, let's kill
check
some
out Dead of
zombies.
Winter. Yeah, let's kill some Z's.
Your nan's just sitting there,
Yeah.
just slaying zombies. Anyway.
Yeah, Nan's just sitting there like, all right, so I think what I'm gonna
I'm
do.
going to use this shotgun to
Yeah.
kill those two
Exile
zombies.
Nan, she's the betrayer.
I'm not the betrayer.
Yeah.
You on turn 2 didn't put in the medicine. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I would put it in that region. I put it like a 6.5.
Yeah. Oh, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A surprise high, surprise low.
Surprise high.
Yeah. Well, I think of all the board games in your shelf when we were just like, what are we going to play? It jumped out at me, so it must
Yeah,
have
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
I think it is just like that cool suspense. Like a lot of games don't get good until they're 4 or 5 players.
Yeah.
This is one that was solid at 3.
Yeah. Yeah. The betrayer mechanic definitely made the game, I think.
Yeah.
Just like if we were all working together, it would have been pretty bland.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that was a particular mission that we played, I should say. There
Yeah.
are many, many more missions and there's expansions and everything like that. But, like, I think just knowing, like, I mean, I knew I was a betrayer, but, like, you guys are like, you guys may have been skeptical on me. Again, it didn't play out like that because I fucking died first turn, but, like,
Yeah.
But, like,
You were off the
you know,
radar turn 1. 'cause
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
even if
yeah.
he is the betrayer, what's he going to do?
Yeah. But, like, I feel like that would be, it makes the game.
Yeah, I think so. And you're right. That first mission was, I found the game was fun because we were playing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think in isolation that was bland for me, only because the overall objective was kill zombies,
Yeah.
roll a dice. On a 4-up, you get
a sample.
a sample.
Yeah.
Get 9 samples, we win the game.
Yeah.
But you already have to kill zombies as part of the game to survive. So it's like you weren't going out of your way.
Nah.
It wasn't costing you anything to
Yeah.
do this mission. It was something you were already doing.
Yeah.
So I think the other missions are probably great where
Yeah, we may need to collect other resources or do
Yeah.
other things as well as kill zombies.
Yeah.
I think as well what sort of compounded that was the fact that, like, well, at least me, I had multiple survivors that had their unique abilities were, like,
yeah.
easily kill zombies. Like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
kill 2 at once sort of
Or
thing.
good
And, like, there was a lot-
searches
and then,
and stuff
as
like
well,
that.
the weapons as well make it really easy to kill the zombies.
end up
don't have to
snowballing.
do
Yeah.
exposure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
a lot of mechanics in the game that make it easier to kill zombies. So
Yeah.
the overall objective is just kill zombies.
Then yeah.
It just gets even easier as you go along. and
For
it's-
sure.
Yeah.
Especially when although it almost sort of came into play later, we were never really affected by the turn counter or morale.
No.
We had lots of time and
Yeah.
we had lots of morale that never
Yeah.
really took a hit. And you're right, it does snowball because say, Churchy can kill... there's a lot of... Churchy could kill 2 zombies just anywhere.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Just like teleport across the thing to the police
Only at the
station.
colony, but
Yeah, only at the colony.
Yeah.
But like you're just killing zombies left, right, and center for free.
because I
And-
had the school one, because I put one character at the colony, which was the one that could kill 2 zombies at the colony
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
rolling exposure. Then I had
Yeah.
the one at the school that could kill a zombie at the school without rolling exposure. So
Yeah, yeah.
it was really easy for me to just have those characters sitting there just farming zombies basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and exposure's the damage dice,
Yeah.
basically.
It's a
So-
D12. I'm sure it's a D12.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it's
got
D12.
2 sides of frostbite, I think 2 sides of wound, and 1 tooth.
Yeah, which
The
we
tooth
saw once.
is the bite,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
came up once, and that was
Instant kill.
yeah.
Yeah, so you could just kill all these zombies without rolling that damage dice, so you were fine.
Yeah.
And then I could double search a lot of places,
Yeah, yeah.
which meant I got more people, and
Yeah.
then more people gave me more actions to be able to then double search, and yeah, so
I'm curious as to like those survivor cards that you draw,
Yep.
whether you play them immediately. That's
Yeah.
what I kind of want to know, or whether they go into your hand.
Yeah.
Because if they go into your hand, in theory, then you could have like passed one to me.
yeah, that's true.
You know, like I've already got 3.
That's
Here's
true.
one for you.
You
Like,
would have loved that. You'd be like,
I would have frothed it. Yeah, bloody oath. But like, I mean, like, I get it. Like, why? You can't because they're titled an event card, which
Yeah.
makes sense that you just
You can't put a person in your pocket and walk back to and be like, I'll save this for later.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
realistically,
Yeah.
And there was a few times where we just weren't sure of rules, so we were just like, well, this makes the most sense.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
this is... Because the game itself, it tries to convey realism in it. I noticed in a few ways where, you know how around the map, around the colony, zombies generate?
Yeah.
But they always sort of generate in the first and second and third spot the easiest.
Yeah.
Those spots in the actual colony on the board are just doors to the open world.
Yeah.
Whereas the more difficult ones, they actually have to go through a few rooms.
Yeah.
So it's like even just that little thing there, they're saying, oh, it's easier for them to walk through one door and be in the colony.
Yeah.
Versus these other 3 rooms where they have to like get through buildings and whatever.
Yeah.
To get into the colony. So that in every turn they tried to do realism in a board game, which was really cool.
Yeah.
It was thematical.
The crossroads were probably like one of my favorite parts, where it's like that narrative, that fluffy sort of side, where it like gives you an actual dilemma.
Yeah.
You know, like, and like some of them, like we only experienced a couple of them, but there's some really like brutal ones out there. Like
they work really well when you actually read the card right.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it.
Churchy sounded so cool, but there was one that he read all the way through, which
Which
revealed...
was for Fox as well.
Yeah.
And then I ruined it for him.
Yeah, and then the next one you drew was just like...
It's just pretty bland, and I don't think it even applied.
It didn't.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the Crossroads, is that some of them are like, if you've got this character, but there's probably 30 characters
and sometimes it's if you got this character at this location.
doing this thing or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. So it's like you need to like wait. I was like, okay, that character's in play. Where are they? They're at the colony. All right, they're not. This hasn't triggered yet.
Yeah.
As soon as Churchy moved Maria to the school, or she was already there, but like, sweet, this card is now in play because it says Maria at the school. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so like, yeah. So it is cool.
I definitely enjoyed the Crossroads ones, and I thought as well it was like it's cool the fluff of it gives you that, like sometimes it gives you the moral dilemma.
Yeah.
Which is what I had a lot. Like I had 2 that were just like these really big moral dilemmas.
Yeah.
One was like a vote, and then I was an ass.
Yeah.
The second one was a option that I
Yeah.
chose, and I was an ass.
Well, I mean, it
But
was,
you know,
it did what you had to do.
I did what we had to do.
yeah.
I did what I had to do for the good of the colony.
Exactly.
You know,
I
in
think,
real life though, it's funny though too, because like I love as well, like you play in a game, you can make those like choices. In
Yeah.
real life,
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh man, I
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
do
You could
everything
never
I
make
can
the
to, like,
choice.
help these kids, or
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
help this baby and the mum and whatever.
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
But in a game,
It's a game.
I can be an absolute asshole.
Yeah.
It
Exactly.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's video
Yeah.
gaming.
There's no consequences except
But,
win or lose.
But it is fun too, as well. Like putting yourself, like trying to insert yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Admittedly, like as I said, I
Bit of,
went
like,
to
RPG,
I went to the
roleplay
arsehole thing,
kind of
yeah,
thing.
a little bit of RPGing, and you really think about the moral dilemma of like, oh man,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like that's actually a tough call. Like,
Mm.
because we had the first one was had to we found a dumpster baby. And then,
Yeah, we did find a dumpster baby.
did, yeah.
He's
We
not
did.
lying. He's not lying.
We found
Yeah.
a baby in the dumpster,
It's not a meme.
and
It was alive.
it
was alive,
Was
yeah.
alive. And then we had to basically choose: do we exile the mother or do we keep the mother?
Yeah, because the
We were gonna
story
keep the baby
was
regardless,
that the
but
mother was hiding the baby in the dumpster because she feared if she brought the baby to us, the colonizers,
Yep.
Colony.
the colony,
Yeah.
that we would turn her away, having a second mouth to feed and a
Yeah.
crying baby.
Yeah.
So she was like, I'll hide it in the dumpster, live in the colony, and like feed my dumpster baby.
I don't think that was the idea, dude.
Oh, well.
I think it was-
I think basically what happened.
I think it was more just to
the dilemma was that
dispose of the
she
baby.
had dumped her baby to dispose of it. Yeah, to
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Nah, I don't think so.
Listen to
She
you.
didn't want to
Nah,
do
She's
it.
gonna
She's gonna come back and
Fox,
this is its
Fox, you
little
got it
turn.
wrong. She wasn't making
the
a
dumpster
side
was
colony
just-
in the dumpster.
Yeah, she was.
No, she wasn't.
She was. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt.
No.
She went
She
back
had
there.
to
That's
si-
why she slept in the dumpster every night, guys. You don't understand. Yeah.
She had made the decision.
No human would do that.
She dumped her baby. She was like, I'm
think
dumping
happens
this
a lot,
baby.
dude.
You need to have
I can't deal
presented
with
this
the
to me
baby.
because I would have thumbs down that shit so hard. I would have been like, I'll put a bullet in her brain. We'll take the
'Cause she
baby.
dumped the
You know what?
baby.
That makes more sense now because one of the options was keep the baby and ditch the mum.
Yeah.
That was
And
yeah.
I was like, why would
And
we split them up? But obviously, if she
Because
cool.
she dumped the baby, dude.
You're so innocent.
And then I was
The world's a
that's
bad
why,
place.
That's
I feel
why I was having such a
horrible.
moral dilemma.
Yeah, well, why didn't you talk me out of it? You made me think. Why would we keep
Why
the
would
mum?
we keep the mum?
Yeah.
Because you have to be like, Because that's why then we were talking about the whole thing of
Because the
like,
mum
not
can
why.
feed the
maybe
baby.
she did it.
No, we can.
You can't.
No,
I
part of
can.
it, the
You
whole
can't.
thing was,
Yeah, okay, I
Your
got,
nipples
Dude,
don't make
the-
milk.
well, I don't need it. I got the stuff.
But the whole thing was right. The
I
whole
got the
thing
food
was
cards.
that
Feed a bit
she,
cards.
in my
Breastfeed
mind,
them.
Okay.
right, at least my thinking was.
Yeah.
So I guess there's two ways you can approach this. Either
Sure.
she's an absolute asshole and she just went, I don't want to fucking baby. And
Yeah.
she just dumped that shit.
Yeah.
And she was like, fuck that noise.
Yeah. Literally.
The
that
way
noise.
I was thinking about it in terms of zombie apocalypse
Yeah.
was that she went, oh no, these guys are this colony. I can't possibly have a child because that's another mouth to feed.
Sure.
We're already in a desperate situation.
Sure.
The baby can make noise. It can do all this stuff that will annoy the other colonists.
And attract
Yeah.
zombies.
And attract zombies. And it's just going to be an absolute nuisance.
Yeah.
And they're going to exile me and kick me out. Or worse, you know, they're going to make me kill the baby, even though she killed the baby anyway. But anyway,
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
that
yeah.
line of
She didn't
thinking.
kill the baby.
That line of thinking. That desperation.
We saved it.
She
We
did
saved
kill
it.
the baby.
She
She
did-
dumped
She
it
was
in the
going
dumpster.
to.
She
She was
wasn't
going
dead.
to.
She
It
didn't
was.
kill
It wasn't dead, but
It was
left-
left for
after.
dead, but
Is
we
it gonna
found it.
Left for
thrive?
dead.
Is it going to thrive in the dumpster? Is it going to like
I don't know.
come
Never-
back later and get revenge?
Maybe.
Like, mother, you left me in the dumpster.
Oh, like
But
dumpster
I grew,
armor.
I grew
yeah.
strong in the garbage. In the garbage I thrived. And now I return for vengeance. Anyway, point being,
Side plot there.
Yeah. It may have happened. We'll never know.
it's a new
Because
expansion.
we saved it.
It's
Yeah.
a new expansion. But basically,
Yeah.
that was the moral dilemma, right?
Yeah.
Do we exile the mother for her actions, or do we keep her in the colony? Either way, we were keeping the baby, but
Yeah.
that was the moral dilemma.
Yeah.
And initially, I just like voted down just to be an ass. But in my thinking, because I was thinking, all right, she deserves another chance.
Oh,
Like
she
once
doesn't.
we discussed it, now you're
Now
180.
you flipped.
Only because I've got all the information now.
You had all the
I'll
information.
I'll explain what I thought happened. I thought
She
she was
made a
keeping it out
den
outside
for it in the
because like we're coming and going from the colony constantly.
Yeah.
So like who gives a crap? No one's keeping tabs on anyone.
Yeah.
So it's like she was keeping the baby in the dumpster, which
Yeah.
in my mind was completely empty because she was like emptying it on the side, and she was like, "I'll take the garbage out instead of throwing
No,
it in the
if she was
dumpster
emptying the dumpster, how come our waste got so full?
because it was inside the colony." Checkmate. So.
Fair point.
So in my head, she was like taking care of this baby, but keeping it outside, and because the zombies can't get in the dumpster.
If she was taking care, oh, okay, because
Yeah.
zombies can't get in the dumpster.
They can't get in the dumpster, so
I
they
was
would've-
going to say, why is it in the dumpster if she's taking care of it? But
She's
you've-
taking care of
you've-
it.
You've argued your case.
I
So
get,
she's
I
like-
get where you were coming from.
Yeah, I was wrong. I
But
know
you're
I was
definitely
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah, I know. I understand that
She's
now.
straight up killing that baby.
Because
But
the
admittedly,
option, I
that's-
thought the options were really strange because it was like, okay, so your option is keep the mum and keep the baby, or kick out the mum and kick out the baby. Keep the baby.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why would we kick out the mum because she was an extra mouth to feed and then keep the baby?
Yeah.
I was like, that's weird, but I mean, like, do we hate her that much for trying to keep her kid alive in a dumpster?
Which is funny because
But now it makes sense.
Now-
But which is funny too because when you
We got
initially,
there.
because
We got there.
initially
We
I
got
thought
there.
we were both going to downvote,
Yeah,
and then I thought
that makes sense.
because I thought
In hindsight, I would absolutely
because
downvote
the
it.
initial thought is she's an asshole, get rid of her.
Of course.
And then I was doing then when we discussed it, I was
Yeah.
like thinking, all right, nah, she deserves another chance.
Nah, she doesn't.
Give her
You're
that,
wrong.
give her that,
You're wrong for listening to me.
yeah, I'm wrong for letting you convert me back to saving her.
Oh, we should have thrown her in the dumpster.
After,
Anyways,
Anyways,
So
that was
a solid
one.
decision.
That was just one of them.
the situations.
so you can imagine the conversations we had.
And you know what? I reckon right now we've talked about it longer than we did in the middle of the game.
We did.
That's
yeah.
true. We were
But
time
it's
conscious.
It's cool. It's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
That's what's so cool. Like a game has these moral dilemmas, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can just talk about them for hours.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It was a
and
cool aspect of the
flip
game.
back and forth, and yeah.
Those, what were they called? Crossroads cards were really good because at times, due to the nature of the game, you could kind of feel like you were just playing the game and
Yeah.
not immersed. And those crossroads just snap you back into the
Yeah.
scene.
Yep,
Yeah.
for sure.
You know, you just remembered you're back in there and
They're
think it's-
a quick way to to get back into the game, not just
tug you back into
not just
immersion.
doing these little tiny things like, oh, I need to get food, need to get this, like just things that almost feel pointless.
Yeah.
Even though they are the main part of the game, but like just the depth of it,
Yeah.
dive back in again.
It's that immersion and that flavor that it adds, and just like
Yeah.
it pulls you into the world more, and then that in combination with the betrayer mechanic,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
kind of really like
Yeah.
adds
Keeps
the
that
tension
theme.
and keeps it going. And,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
very deep, very immersive game. Keen to hit it again, to be
Yeah,
honest.
for sure.
Different missions.
Play it on hard. Maybe even house rule, because I loved those crossroads so much.
Yeah.
That maybe even we could house rule that if you draw one that doesn't apply, you draw, you discard it and draw a second one. And if that doesn't apply, it's done.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I was gonna say sometimes you wouldn't want one every single turn.
Nah,
I think it'd
nah.
be too much. But like, yeah, definitely a second go. But then, to come to think of it, there was only a handful of times when it didn't like activate. Like it was
Yeah.
like,
But I feel like it was almost... I get what Fox is saying, though, because I feel like it was almost sort of 50-50 whether it would apply or not. Or
Yeah.
even like 60-40, 60 favouring that it not applying.
Yeah.
which I think is a good balance because you wouldn't want it to happen too much.
No, I'd like a 70-30. Because I like the excitement. I was so excited whenever one would be drawn. I'd be like, what are we going to do as a team? You know? What's our decisions
I
going
am
to be?
inclined to agree with that. Like,
I-
I think they added, like, because it's exactly that, because it involves, usually it would involve everyone or have repercussions for everyone. So it's sort of like made everyone discuss what was going on a little bit, or like,
I think they are what the crisis cards aren't.
Yeah.
The crisis cards are just a little side quest that you're expected to complete. Otherwise, a negative thing happens.
Yeah.
Because it's like, all I need is like 3 food or 3 fuel or 3 tools. And it's like where the crossroads cards give you so much more.
Yeah.
But,
Some more depth.
but I think the thing of that too is, but this is again is like where it would be more interesting with more players. I feel like the crisis cards is where the betrayer gets their chance to kind of shine.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
because the whole
crisis
face
cards.
down mechanic.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
of the
Yeah,
face down
yeah.
mechanic, and you're putting all these things in the like you discussed earlier. Like it comes in, you don't know. Like you need 3 fuel. People put the cards in. Oh, we got 2 fuel and 1 tools.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not what we needed.
Yeah,
we've got less morale or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We failed.
You lose
failed the
morale, things
objective.
happen, zombie shot, whatever happens.
Yeah.
But I think for us, because we only had 3 players, it was a
Yeah.
bit less. Like that was a bit less prevalent.
Yeah.
I can definitely see how with like 5 players, that would be a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
for
And
that side of the game.
if the betrayer wasn't handicapped, it would have been a whole different story.
For sure. 100%. Yeah.
Ah, man.
And even at more players, I guess there's more chance of on one round
Yeah.
of 1 or 2 of those crossroads popping off.
Yeah,
It's about
yeah.
50-50.
Yeah. I think we should house rule next time we play. If the first roll is a bite, treat it as a wound.
Reroll. Yeah, treat it as a wound. Yeah.
Because like, oh man, that was
But it's
rough. That's so
interesting
hard.
I reckon
fucked me.
treat it as
Frostbite or something. I don't know.
frostbite's good. Maybe treat it as a wound on each of your
Yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
that.
Well, I think even for our immersion's sake as well, I know we because I know there was at least once that we house ruled, which was when we got the card where Fox successfully did it, and it was you could choose a card from any deck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Choose an item deck, choose any card.
Yeah.
But we decided it had to be from where he went. Which
Yeah.
again was nice because it was that little bit of extra immersion and
That
made
was
more sense.
that was interesting. That was a crossroads card, but
Yeah.
but it was interesting because it was like it triggered when you left the colony.
Yes.
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was when he
like,
moved. It was
but
when he moved someone from.
but it was almost like it should have like it's almost like you leave
Yeah.
and then you decide where you go.
yeah.
That's, and
Yeah.
I feel like you should leave, the card triggers,
Yeah.
and then you pick the deck that you could draw from
Yeah,
was where you were
yeah.
going. Because
Yeah.
if you're going to the grocery store, why should you be able to search from the police
Yeah.
station?
Correct.
It doesn't make
Yeah.
much sense
know?
the way it was worded.
Yeah.
The way it was worded on the card was literally just
Yeah, it was
an item
yeah,
deck.
yeah. Anyway,
card,
absolutely,
yeah,
and like
so-
people playing like that, that's how it reads. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
in
that's rules
theory, that's
as
the
written.
rule. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, it's kind of like we had to kind of fix that. I don't know. Maybe there's an FAQ out there. Maybe there's something that fixed it, and there's
Yeah.
and it's rewritten. But
Or they were
like,
just like, whatever. It
Yeah.
doesn't change the game.
Yeah,
But it does
yeah.
break the immersion because
Yeah.
everything you've been taught is that, like, then again, can't your characters move from place to place for free?
They can, but you have to roll exposure.
Yeah.
So it's,
If there's
so
a
it's
zombie
not,
there.
No, on the journey.
any
So-
move you roll
so
exposure.
Right.
You don't.
Because exposure
yeah.
isn't just getting bitten by a zombie.
It's the journey
It's
to
the
somewhere.
journey. It's
Yeah.
tripping over and getting a cut in your leg and bleeding out, or it's
Yeah.
like getting caught in a storm and getting frostbite and
Sure.
stuff like that. Like, it's not just whether or not a zombie gets you.
Yeah.
So while you don't use the dice that you've rolled for
Yeah.
the round, you still have to roll for
Yeah.
exposure. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Then,
Sort of
yeah, it
evens
definitely
out.
should have been like, you
yeah.
search from any deck, but you end your move there
At
or
that
whatever.
location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think that just as a side thing for immersion's sake and stuff, if you find something like that, it's definitely more fun house ruling it so that
It felt
Yeah.
right.
have to-
Yeah.
There was one
Like-
obvious thing, and it was that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a way, you could look at it and be like, oh, we're nitpicking. I suppose we
Yeah,
are,
yeah.
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course.
but like,
Yeah.
but you want that immersion. You don't want to just metagame it because
Yeah.
that's not fun.
That's
Like,
not why you would play this game.
No,
you know? It's not
no.
like, yeah. I think when the game rules are that simple, you can nitpick on the tiny little...
The wording.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do we agree on? How do we think this reads? As a group, yes,
Yeah.
sweet.
I
We're
would-
all happy with that? Cool.
And I think, like, we agree that the crossroads was the most interesting mechanic. So I think
Yeah.
it's fair to then make sure we make that mechanic the most interesting as it
Yep,
can be.
For sure.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, you're right. We are nitpicking. But, like, it's because the rest of the game's so simple, there's no room for error.
Yeah.
It's so simple
Yeah. Yeah.
that we'll focus in on
Which
later.
I think as well is a sign that it's sort of working well. Because
Yeah.
if you start nitpicking on something, it's like a good sign that
Yeah.
you're like, you know, everything
Yeah.
else is running
Yeah.
pretty smoothly. So
And the game and the thematics of it were so good that when that rule came up, it wasn't... We just went with the... We were like, oh, of course.
It's where you were
like,
going.
You know, I think you should go to where you were going.
Yeah.
And not just pick it from anywhere. And we're like, yeah, of course. Like,
Yeah.
That's what makes the most sense. I crossed the lake of ice to go somewhere.
Yeah.
Drew a card from there. I had to have been there.
Yeah.
So that's a credit to like how well the game built thematics into it, that it just felt natural to do it that way.
Definitely.
So yeah, it was good. We'll leave them in suspense, and we'll say that yes, we did win. We alluded to that earlier,
Yeah.
but only one of us won. So stay tuned. You'll have to watch. Churchy thinks it was him.
it's totally me, man.
I was the betrayer.
I know.
Did Shane win?
Did Shane
Did
win?
the betrayer win? Who
Even with
knows?
his epic handicap.
Ooh, could have been an underdog story right there.
Well, it came down to the last action,
Keeping
which
in
is
mind,
very cool.
keeping in mind as well, what hurts for Shane being the betrayer. Sometimes what hurts him hurts us.
Yeah,
So
yeah, emotionally.
What hurts you also hurts your
'cause
friends.
Yeah.
because there were times where he couldn't do much to help the colony, and me and Fox kind of had to pick up the slack.
Put him on our back, and then he stabbed
We
it.
carried him all the
stabbed
way
it.
and-
Got a ciggy, bruh?
Yeah.
got a ciggy, bruh?
Yeah, thank you, bro.
Anyway, that was our experience of Dead of Winter. So,
Yep.
made by Plaid Hat Games. I feel like it's like $100 Australian.
Yeah.
It's absolutely worth it. You get a shitload of little cardboard standees, like survivors, and that's just the lid. Zombies and tokens, and there's a lot of moving parts, but it is a very fun game. Pick it up if you can.
Plaid Hat Games, fun fact, also made Mice and Mystics, which is cool.
Oh,
But it's
yeah,
also,
okay.
I guess, funded or published by Fantasy Flight Games. So,
Sure.
there you go.
Published for Fantasy Flight Games.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, creators were Plaid Hat, and
Yep.
then, I mean, it's on the Fantasy Flight Games published titles.
I'm sure they're just taking credit for it. The
Oh, of
name
course.
isn't on the box.
Not on this half.
I don't know where the half is.
yeah. Legit. I
So,
really have no idea.
yeah, we hope you guys enjoyed that little board game. It's been a minute since we've talked about one.
Yeah.
Um,
We're excited to bring it more back.
And I
Yeah,
also hope that for you guys, that reveal that it was just the lid was the biggest plot twist.
oh,
of
yeah.
2020.
Yeah, for sure. This whole time, we actually just had the lid here.
We've never even played the game.
What is the game?
It's
What's
just
it
the
about?
lid.
It's being cold and stuff.
Something like that.
Anyway, there's a lot of mechanics we didn't talk about. You mentioned Frostbite and things like that, but
Yep.
hang around till midweek and maybe you'll watch us
You'll
play
see
it.
the episode.
Unless you're not interested.
video.
In which case you won't. So.
So thank you all for watching. As always, you can find links on hobbyhomies.com to all our stuff. We've got Patreon as well.
Yep.
Massive thank you to all our patrons. This wouldn't be what it is without you guys. On the website, you can find links to that. Discord as well. You can like and subscribe this video on YouTube if you can. And of course, massive shout out to all our patrons. We've got Burnsy, Whack, Final Dinosaur, Lockie, MJ, Lethal, Moose, Penny, and Gridlock.
And we got Elko, Churchy, Rad, Ollie, Hockers, Aggro, Foggy, Adrian, Big Roach, and our new homie who I met the other day,
Yes.
Andreas.
When was it?
At
Infinity
Throw
Night?
the Dice. Yeah, it was, I believe it was Star Wars
the
Legion night.
Yes.
Great
I
bloke.
didn't make it.
Can't wait to throw dice with him.
Do it.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Thanks for joining. Hopefully, becoming a Patreon with us increases your dice rolls by +1.
We hope so. Just make that a rule.
Yeah. And if anyone disputes that, let them know that they should, because that's a bullshit rule. So
we can guarantee at least 50-50. Either it's
50-50.
going to give you the +1 or
Yeah.
it won't.
yeah, or it won't. And people will be fine with that, or they won't.
Exactly.
It's 50-50. As
Yeah.
all things
50-50.
as all things are. Perfectly balanced.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll see you next time.
Hooroo!
Hooroo.
Woo! Big up to the boys, Fox and Shane. Set your minds free, no locks and chains. Do what you love, roll the dice. 50-50, we cold as ice.